Everything going all right so far?
I don't understand how you just become a Viscount.
When the ruler of a marcher state dies and there's no heir, the nobles of the city pick a new ruler. Only none of Kirkwall's nobles actually want the throne. Most of them think it's cursed, actually. They can't leave it empty, though, or some other state like Starkhaven or Ansburg will probably invade. I complained about the empty office when it interfered with my reconstruction efforts. They took that as volunteering.
So, Bran used to be Viscount, and now he just follows you around?
Provisional Viscount.
Pretty much.
With a permanent appointee, finally, in the Viscount's office, I am free to return to my post as Seneschal.
He means my true calling is arrogantly telling people they can't talk to the Viscount. He's good at it, too.
I'm surprised no one from the Council of Heralds wants your autograph.
You just missed them. Duke Cyril keeps asking me for spoilers for my next book.
Any word from Hawk?
I got a message from, well, best not to name an entire chain of smuggling syndicates in polite company. Anyway, Weishaupt is apparently the special kind of mess that only appears when Hawk shows up. I'm not entirely sure how it'll all play out, but my money's on Hawk walking away from the Warden's fortress as it explodes.
I've been meaning to ask. Solus hasn't come back. Sent word? Anything?
I've heard nothing. He's gone.
Ah. I'm sorry.
It's nice to have everyone back in the same place again.
I have to admit I missed it. What does it mean when we need a huge diplomatic talk or the world ending just to bring us together? I got the chance to have a few drinks with Sarah. Miss that girl. It's still a little awkward talking to Cassandra, but the commander appears to have forgiven me, finally.
What is it like, being a warden now?
Things are in upheaval. There have been heated arguments about the future of the Order. I wouldn't be surprised if we tore ourselves apart.
What do you think's going to happen at the Exalted Council?
Maker, I have no idea. Politics always makes my head spin. The Inquisition shouldn't have to give in whenever some prissy noble gets their knickers wedged somewhere.
It is good to see you, my friend.
I hear you've been rebuilding the Seekers.
Slowly, but yes. I managed to find a few of my former comrades who'd scattered to the winds. Some of them were unsuitable, and I did not ask them to return. Others felt as I did, once they read the Lord Seeker's tome. We've since recruited a few candidates who are going through training now, with full disclosure. What comes after this, I cannot be certain. I am making it up as I go along.
Sounds familiar.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
So what do you think of the Chantry?
You ask me just to poke at me and see if I react, don't you? It is what it is. Most Holy's reforms are interesting, to say the least. I hope they last once Leliane is gone. Regardless of what I think, it could have been far worse. You and I both remember the dark times we faced. Sadly, others have far shorter memories.
What do you think of the Exalted Council?
They are frightened of your power, and there is no longer a hole in the sky to remind them that it was needed.
It's just talk, isn't it? What could they actually do?
Individually, very little. As a united front, you do not have that much power, Inquisitor. Even so, I would wait and see where this leads. Calmer heads may yet prevail.
When has that ever been the case?
I'm an optimist. Just ask Varric.
So, you and the Bard. You know most bards are spies, right?
You were a spy, Chief.
Look, I just don't want you to get burned.
Don't say it.
Because then you'd be Creme brulee! Creme brulee!
Creme, I understand you and Meriden are seeing each other.
Yes, Your Worship. I mean, we've just started, so...
Oh, come on. Get in there, show her what you can do.
Listen, Chief, there's this thing you may not have learned growing up Canary and all.
Hey, I'm great at foreplay.
That's good to know, Bull.
I didn't mean foreplay, I meant courtship.
Oh, well, that's a waste of time. You two are good though, right? You need me to talk to her about... things?
No! No. Thanks, though. We're good.
The Chargers have been with the Inquisition for a while now. Is everyone still happy?
No complaints, Your Worship. The Inquisition's been good to us. We'd disband and join the Inquisition officially, but the Chief gets this sad dog look when we suggest it.
The loyalty is touching, Creme.
Hello, and shh. I'm trying to figure out why everyone is acting so weird. I mean, besides because Canary assassins and everything. You see it, right? There's something going with the elf servants. Makes sense after that ruin, right?
When you start going on about elves, it's hard to tell if it's about them or you.
Yes, you're ever so clever. Arse. Point is, the servants have no complaints. No asking for a Jenny. They serve this lot, but don't want them done for anything.
So, the nobles are nice, and the servants are happy?
Two things that have never been true. Mark that I said it. We're fighting Canary, but something else is on the up.
I suppose you've a lot to say about that elven ruin, about the creators.
They're not even demons, just big magey knobs punching down. And yes, the shits who use them to make me feel broken can still eat it. But always waiting for that fight is way too much work. It's like doing half the hurt for them. Maybe we're old now, but I'm tired of it. I'd rather worry about people I care about. Like you. Are you all right with it? The creators?
I don't think I am, Sarah.
I don't know words that fix things, but you have friends. We're real. Please remember that.
It's been a couple of years. How's everything sitting with you?
It's weird meeting back up and seeing everyone get their grey. First time I've been anywhere long enough to get fond of things. Leliana's friendly when she wants to be. My people sometimes do things for her, like I do for you. All that blood and thunder just so everyone can live well an hour once around. Good lesson, I suppose, if there had to be one.
We'll talk later.
Oh, an Inquisitor? Feels weird, but I'm sorry Solus never came back. Well, no, I'm not, but I'm sorry he left you. For what it's worth, anyway. Not much, I suppose, but there you go.
It was the same boy. His mother on the ship, his father in their homeland. He grew up lonely. Or didn't. They made bodies from the earth, and the earth was afraid. It fought back, but they made it forget. Your hand hurts. A heartbeat, not yours, hammering the beat of a song in its final verse. I'm sorry. When this is done, I will slip back safely, a spirit. Someone is hurting. He needs me to remember who he is. It always had a soul. The question is the answer. Rainier. It still hurts, but you helped make it better. He can mend it now. She killed the girl to save herself. She thinks about the eyes going black. A weapon is an order, not a gift. He died in the darkness so a blue rose could bloom. The guardian spirit stayed, not bound, but biding, because he asked. He knows how to speak, so spirits listen. Her name is different now. Victoria. The old name slips away, further each time. She's glad you're here. The spirits have fled, flying, fluttering, fast to the farthest fade. They're afraid of the veil tearing again. Sometimes the cow takes your gold. He did not want a body, but she asked him to come. He left a scar when he burned her off his face.
Tell me, these strange spaces past the Alluvians, are they safe to explore?
None of it has been as bad as the nightmare in the Fade. I can tell you that.
I will take your word for it. And yet, you've accomplished so much in the calm of these past years. I wish you did not have to imperil yourself for us. Again.
I must admit, after years of dinners and paperwork, it feels good to be exploring again.
I only wish you had fewer Canari interrupting your stroll. I will do what I can here. Once the Canari are dealt with, brace yourself. The Council is just as relentless.
Was there something you needed?
Is there any news from Ferelden? How is your family?
My sister Mia keeps me informed. As I understand, she's training my nephew to best me at chess.
I sense a threat to my commander's chess superiority. I'm sure the defeat will be distressing.
He's 4. You could at least pretend I'd throw the game.
Have you had a chance to speak with Leliana? Away from work, I mean.
Some, yes. Liliana has kept in contact, unofficially of course, but it's good to see her again. Arguing with her in person is far more satisfying.
Do you remember the first time we came to the Winter Palace?
All too well. I've already answered a half-dozen questions about my personal life. The reason we're here is because we made a difference. That's worth enduring the political small talk.
Is there anything I should know?
We were permitted soldiers here, but our every move is watched. Some things never change.
Divine Victoria?
Please don't. It would be nice to just be Liliana again for a few days.
As you command, most holy. Tell me about your nugs. Did you get any new ones?
Oh yes! A litter was born just a month ago. We are weaning them right now. If you are hoping for one, I'm afraid they're already spoken for.
Do you miss being our spy master?
I think I miss the people more than the work. Josie, Cullen, I didn't notice how much I liked having them near until they weren't. We're right, of course, but it's not the same.
Have your agents any news I should hear about?
Are you hoping for word on Solus? I'm sorry, Inquisitor. I'm afraid I have nothing, just rumors of sightings that cannot be verified. He's familiar with my methods and seems always one step ahead of me. It is tiring.
Darling, what can I do for you? I wanted your opinion of how Divine Victoria is working out.
Leliana is managing to hold the Chantry together, just barely. Likely your influence.
How are things for the Circle of Magi?
If you call it the Circle while they're in earshot, you'll never hear the end of it, my dear. The College of Enchanters is a ridiculous mess, but it's still a useful institution for training mages.
I can't believe it's been so long.
Around 2 years.
That's it? 2 years? Sweet merciful maker, it felt like 10. That could have been all the wine. Only thing back home I really missed.
What is this ambassadorship about exactly?
I believe my father set it up, but the Imperium certainly didn't object. They'd love for the Inquisition to fall apart. So they're happy if it seems they consider this council a waste of time.
That makes no sense.
No? If Drektavinter actually pushed for the Inquisition's end, everyone else would disagree on principle. So they send a nobody pariah and hope for the best. Makes perfect sense to me.
What did you do in Tevinter while you were away?
I went home. Twice. Father was only there once. Mother was drunk both times. I also went to Carinus to see my good friend Maeveris. Then I settled some of Alexis's affairs. That wasn't fun.
Any thoughts about the Exalted Council?
A few. Divine Victoria needs a new tailor for one. From the paintings of Liliana in that enormous robe, you'd think she was pregnant. Could cause
A delicious scandal.
As for this whole Exalted Council business, well... I warned you once that no one would thank you for saving the world. Sadly, I'm always right. So long as the Inquisition's around to remind them they're not really in charge, they'll never sleep comfortably. Whether they have the guts to take action, I suppose we'll see.
What's this?
Let's see where our horned friends were headed.
So that's how the Kunari moves the paths.
It's old. The stones remember different ways to be, and it asks them to change. Songs screaming far away. It wants to wake up but can't remember how. No one should be here.
We need to find out what these Kunari were up to. So let's go see, shall we? Look at all that. The Kunari have a huge operation here.
A lot of trouble waiting to happen.
Setting off explosions in an underground ruin. Let no one ever say the Kunari don't live dangerously.
You can practically feel it, can't you? All that rock hanging above your head. Maker, I hate fighting underground.
You wanted to become a Grey Warden?
Did you want to join the Magisters?
No, but I can't walk away from the Magisterium. There are responsibilities Oh, I see. Very clever. Look at us both, taking on burdens of life, etc.
It's not so bad. One of us will spend his life fighting against howling, relentless monsters.
And you'll be fighting Darkspawn.
I know which I prefer, Pavus. The mark is glowing again.
Well, maybe the anchor can make itself useful down here.
Pitch black and full of monsters. Lovely.
Stay back! Oh, wait. Your hand. Are you the Inquisitor?
Odd to find a human down in the deep roads at all, let alone one surrounded by Kunari.
We don't have much time. Please, what the Vidasala is doing, you have to stop her.
The Vidasala?
She's the leader of the Kunari here. She hates magic. Her job was to study it and stop it at all costs. Not anymore. I don't care whether you serve Fenharel or not. Someone has to stop her.
Why did the Kunari think that the Inquisition serves Fenharel?
I don't know. The Vidasala said it, and well... You're Dalish. It made as much sense as anything. We've had agents of Fenharel causing trouble all over the crossroads. Sabotage, making spirits attack us. I assume the Inquisition was their army. That you came here because Fenharel told you to.
Who are you exactly?
My name is Jeren. Sir Jeren, once. I was a Templar in Kirkwolle. Until I joined the Qun.
You're Kunari?
Kirkwolle was... madness. Chaos. The Kunari were like the eye of a storm. I stand for order and discipline. Protecting the innocent from magic. But this plan... it's as mad as Meredith ever was.
What do you mean? This Vidasala's not doing her job anymore?
Almost a complete reversal, actually. This place is a lyrium mining and processing center. The Kunari need it for... Have you ever heard of Sarabas? It's a mage. Except Kunari mages are much more dangerous than those among humans or elves. Even as a Templar, I'd never seen anything like the power Sarabas can unleash. And now Vidasala is giving them lyrium. A lot of lyrium. It's part of something she calls Dragon's Breath. There's more to it than that, but I couldn't find out what. The Kunari don't like it when you ask too many questions.
Where are we? Why are there elven mirrors in the deep roads?
This place is close to... something like a lyrium spring. The more we mine, the more there seems to be. As for the mirrors, I don't know. Maybe the elves were mining here too.
The Kunari can't be mining their own lyrium. It kills anyone who tries, other than dwarves.
It killed the Kunari at first. But Canary workers have a discipline only Tranquil can match. And they're quick learners. They figured it out.
What are you doing down here?
The Canary wanted me to teach them everything I knew about Lyrium. Where it comes from, everything it can do, how we put it to use. I knew enough from my time in the Order. They figured out more. I'm not sure how. Maybe they got to the Carter.
That's not seriously the name of the plan, is it? Dragon's Breath.
You know that most Dragon's Breath destroys everything in its path, right? She said it would save the South. That can mean only one thing. An invasion. This mine is the only source of lyrium the Canary have. They're using Gatlock, the explosive powder in the round casks, to mine, so they don't have to touch raw lyrium. If you get the primers from Central Supply, you can prime the Gatlock and detonate it. The mines will go up in flames.
Even if I succeed, will that really stop the Vidasala?
It would be a start. Deep Stalkers and Cave-ins will cut off reinforcements, but they'll still come when they hear trouble. You've got to find the Vidasala to end this war before it begins.
There's no telling how bad things will get when I destroy the mine. You'd better get moving.
I will. Good luck, Inquisitor.
Let's go. We have a lyrium mine to ruin.
It shouldn't be this dark. The dwarven buildings are lit by molten rock. That doesn't just go out. I've lived with the Canary threat all my life. If it escalates, it won't just be Tevinter fighting them. All this lyrium. If the Canary want it, they can make a fortune.
The stone sings. The song scares them. It's the wrong song, the wrong blood. They don't know how we stand it.
If we can convince them to stop murdering us for just a few years, I'm open to a cultural exchange. What a well-oiled operation the Canary have. I think we should explode it, don't you?
The songs are old here. Sleeping sadness already forgotten. I can't help this hurt.
That's it. Let's get out of here and warn the others about this Dragon's Breath plan.
Hopefully before this place floods any worse. Look at the water!
So, who gets to tell Cullen and Josephine we're probably at war with the Cure? Anyone? Ugh, they're going to kill me.
Dragon's Breath. The Canary always enjoyed their metaphors.
But what does it mean?
Who knows? Canary agents moving through Illuvians to attack the south is bad enough already.
I still do not understand why they accused the Inquisition of serving Fen'Arel.
We know that Mythal actually exists. It's possible Fen'Arel is still here in some form, too.
What you describe in the ruins certainly implies that the Dread Wolf of Elven legend is a real person.
But how does that implicate us? What made them decide that the Inquisition serves this Fen'Arel?
Hopefully we will learn more after we have stopped them.
Let's see the Exalted Council try to disband the Inquisition after we've saved them from this Dragon's Breath.
We must find out what Dragon's Breath is first. For now, our only lead is the Canary leader, the Vidasala.
Gentlemen!
My apologies, Lady Josephine. There has been an incident with one of your soldiers.
How dare you! It was bad enough that the Inquisition chose not to inform the Exalted Council of the Kunari Corps.
Ole would have been happy to help with the matter.
But now your own guards are attacking servants? You have overstepped your bounds.
My plan to seize power in Ferelden would hardly start with soldiers scuffling in Orlais, Altegan.
While the Exalted Council is our foremost priority, the Inquisitor will, of course, address this matter personally.
Thank you, Inquisitor. Ole stands ready to assist the Inquisition, as always.
Secrets and lies. Do you understand why we fear your Inquisition? You act as if you're the solution to every problem. How long before you drag us into another war?
What's going on here?
The Orlesians tried to take one of our people, Inquisitor. We've secured the area.
This is the Winter Palace. You cannot simply seize control when one of your guards attacks a servant.
The Inquisition is handling this. When some noble commits a crime of fashion, you can take over.
I only asked what he was doing.
And when I refused to bow to the Inquisition's dogs, you attacked me! How would you like us to handle the situation, Inquisitor?
That barrel there, where did it come from?
I was ordered to bring wine for the guests.
You're lying.
Your Inquisition soldiers are completely out of control.
No, we're in control. Keep talking and you'll find yourself in chains.
Please take the servant into custody.
Right away, Your Worship.
Inquisitor?
Ambassador Montillier will explain later. For now, please hold the servant for questioning.
As you say, Inquisitor. Lord Cyril will hear about this.
Inquisitor, I also found this by the barrel. I can't read the language.
Did you resolve the problem with the guard?
The guard is the least of our problems. Someone smuggled Gatlock barrels into the Winter Palace.
Smile, Inquisitor. There are many eyes upon us. At least now we know the true extent of the dragon's breath.
How are you still smiling?
Years of training as a bard, Inquisitor. We cannot show weakness now. Enemies could be watching, or we can let them seize idle conversation between two friends.
You think the dragon's breath is these Gatlock barrels?
Of course. A surprise attack, even through the Illuvians, would have met fierce resistance. But if everyone at the Exalted Council died in an explosion, the South would be rudderless, vulnerable to attack. This is what Corypheus should have done after the explosion at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. An attack as swift and unstoppable as the breath of a dragon.
The guard who confronted the servant said she found this note near one of the barrels. It looks like Kunari writing.
Let me see. I picked some up from the Iron Bull, though I'm told my accent is atrocious. These are orders for positioning the Gatlock in the palace. When duty has been performed, report to the Vidisala through the mirror marked by a bookcase.
I've been hoping to meet the esteemed Vidisala. How nice of her to invite us over.
Good. While you do that, I will have agents locate the Gatlock barrels and remove them safely. I will also send word to my foreign contacts. We must see where else this dragon could strike.
Canary first, mixed with elves, add dwarfs. Ugh, doesn't anyone drink their booze one at a time anymore? And the elves here are still squirrely.
Wish I hadn't burned all my contacts with the Ben Hastrath. Be nice to have some idea what they're doing right now.
Yeah, but then you'd be on their side, Chief.
Yes, but I'd know things. I like knowing things.
What can you tell me about the Kunari we're dealing with?
These aren't Ben Hastrath. They're specialists, working for a Vidisala. Ben Hastrath handle normal security. The Vidisala's people focus entirely on magic. They find it, they study it, they neutralize it. And they must be desperate if they're using Illuvians. I'd expect them to shatter any mirror they find.
He broke the dreams to stop the old dreams from waking. The wolf chews its leg off to escape the trap. His friend had to die because he thought they were people. A slow arrow breaks in the sad wolf's jaws. Barefaced but free, frolicking, fighting fierce. He wants to give wisdom, not orders. If you leave and come back, the chest gives you another. That's how we know too much.
This time of year, it'll be difficult to find a caravan to go all the way back home. Maybe a sea voyage. I could get captured by burly Canary pirates. That would be fun.
An alluvian marked by a bookshelf. This should be it.
Right. Let's get some answers from the Vidisala.
Is this some sort of old elven library?
It definitely saw a massive magical backlash some time ago.
Let's hope we can track down the Vidasala in all this.
Andaran Atishan, Mithadra Elven.
More ancient elven.
If you wish, honored elven, I will speak so your guests understand. I am study. I am a learning thirst. Come, know what has not been lost. New words, new stories. The Kunari would not approach, but we learned their words as well. If you wish to exchange knowledge, they congregate by the lower gate.
What did the old elves use this place for?
This is the Virdirthara, the living knowledge of the Empire. The libraries of every city, the wisdom of every court. A connecting place whose paths are in disarray.
What put this place into disarray?
The Virdirthara was made with world and fade. When they sundered, so did we. Paths broke, knowledge fragmented, many were trapped. I preserved their last words.
What were these old elves' last words?
What happened? Where are the paths? Where are the paths? God save me, the floor is gone. Do not let me fall. Do not let me... on this spot, that is all.
I could learn so much about my people. What were they like? How long is our history?
I will try to recall, honored patron, but there are gaps, breaks. Greetings, laughter, Ema and Nasal, forms out of air, light, memories. And yet there are so many broken paths at every... missing.
Stop, please, stop. You don't need to hurt yourself.
Yes, wisdom from compassion. Yes, I will stop. Apologies. I knew all once. We knew. With the break, only fragments or knowledge new since the fall.
I'm looking for a Kunari named Vidasala. Do you know what she wants here?
Vidasala, yes. She uses scholars and mages for study. They fear this place, but they seek to know the Veil.
What does Vidasala want to know about the Veil?
I regret I do not have more information. I am sundered from myself. If you discover another one of me nearer the Kunari, I may know more. Kindly give it my greetings. I have not thought with myself for some time.
We'll be going now.
Know this. An unknown person, not of the Kunari, recently woke the librarians.
An unknown person? Could this be our agent of Fen'Harel?
The librarians facilitated learning before the fracture, before the fall. Now, beware them. They are unwell.
There, Kunari. On that... upside-down island.
Shivering, wide awake, watching for demons. This isn't home. This isn't home at all.
These Kunari are dead, but there's not a mark on them.
Wide eyes, and that look on their faces. I'd almost say they were scared to death.
Welcome, welcome. Listen to the last words of those who lived past the fall. How could the dread wolf cast a veil between the world that wakes and the world that dreams? The Evenuris will send people. They will save us. When have you last heard from the gods? When the veil came down, they went silent. What is this veil? What has Fen'Harel done?
Are these records saying Fen'Harel created the veil between our world and the Fade?
If it's true, that means the Fade and the waking world were once one and the same.
This looks like... technical notes? What did the Kunari come here to learn?
I recognize some formulas. The Kunari are trying to prove theoretical magic of some kind.
The anchor again. Are you all right?
The pain stopped.
The magic here wakes it. Familiar, strong, ripping apart again, all again.
Welcome.
and listen to the last words of those who walked this place. If we get out of here, I will end Fen'Harel. After he held back the sky to imprison the gods, the dread wolf disappeared. Lies. We must tear down the veil, the cities, the pathways. Without magic, they're crumbling. You're wasting your time. Fen'Harel's veil has turned our empire to ruins.
So, the ancient elven empire collapsed because the veil weakened magic?
Like damming a river. Rely on it for water all your life. What happens when it disappears?
Do you realize what this means? What this place is? The actual history of the elves could change everything. Look at this place. Now that we have so many samples, how hard would it be to build illuviens of our own?
Mirrors to places that mirror what you've seen in those places.
Is that approval? Hard to tell with you.
You want to bring some good, a piece of the past that aches to think it's lost.
After these past few years, it would just be good to create something magical that is also helpful for a change.
Trust you to think of something like this when you're trying to help.
Come now. We could visit each other on a whim. Think how much fun life would be if I were always a step away.
I don't think I've the strength.
If they're gonna stuff me into politics, I've got to have some fun on the side.
They're the librarians.
Hello.
Did you notice? Your anchor is flaring up near magic. Elven magic.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Tell us if it gets worse.
The veil isn't real. It's false, fake, fabricated to forbid. Isn't it wonderful?
I was thinking alarming, personally.
It means I belong here, helping, healing the hurt. I'm not a wrong thing, a wreck, a ruin. I'm what I should be. Oh, Solus understands.
I imagine he would understand if he were here. Shame he ran off.
He doesn't want me to follow, but I can almost feel him here. All new, faded for her.
Survivor of the breach, herald of change, hero of the South.
The Vidasala, I presume.
After fulfilling your purpose at the breach, it is astonishing to hear you still walked free among your people. Your duty is done, Inquisitor. It is time to end your magic.
The anchor repairs tears in the veil. I would think you'd approve of that.
Is that all it does? Tell me, why hold your hand as if it's begun to pain you? I am no stranger to catastrophe, but this chaos in the South defies comprehension. The Qun left your people to curb your own magic. You've amply proven we should have stepped in long ago.
Is that what Dragon's Breath is for? Murdering our heads of state just to control our magic?
Do you believe closing the breach solved everything? That its consequences stopped there? The day we saw the breach, the Qun decided its action. We would remove your leaders and spare those who toil. This agent of Fen'Harel has disrupted everything. Lives that were to be spared, lost for him.
Who is this agent? Why do you think they work for the Inquisition?
Kill the Inquisitor, then follow me to the Dargarad.
Visitors, patrons, welcome. The halls are open.
Can you tell me where a Kunari called Vidasala went?
Yes, we heard much, although she fooled herself into thinking we could not hear. Take a keystone to the Dargarad. I will join you there soon and take stock of our remaining Gatlock powder.
I found a keystone with one of the Kunari.
Yes, and you need words for their key. Maras Nira. It glows. It will open the way to the Dargarad. May you find what you seek. In coming here, you strengthen the paths. I can now raise one, if you wish to go.
You've been very helpful.
Il Dethan was what the Elven called me. One who guides seekers of knowledge true. I was connection. One city could read the records of another. One elven feel the memories of another. When the veil fell upon us, I marked the end of all they knew.
I've been through some battles as a warden. Fighting one group of darkspawn's the same as another. Back with the Inquisition, and a moment later we're battling secret Qunari assassins in a dream library.
Any regrets, Renier?
I wouldn't have missed this for anything.
I'm glad you're here, Tom.
Your agents confirm there are Gatlock battles in Denerim's palace?
Yes, and in Val Royeaux and across the Free Marches. The Winter Palace is not the only target.
The Qunari are one order from destroying every noble house in the known world.
There is a bright side. Warning the ambassadors will remind them of the Inquisition's value.
Not when the Inquisition is responsible for that threat.
I take it you have new information?
The elven servant handling the barrels confessed to working for the Qunari.
But the servant was Orlesian. That implicates Orlais, not us.
But the barrels arrived at the Winter Palace on the Inquisition supply manifest.
How are we supposed to fight a war when we can't even trust our own people?
Do you know who got the barrels onto the Inquisition manifest?
Yes, several of the Inquisition's elven workers have gone missing. I had their backgrounds checked. They joined the Inquisition after fleeing the chaos in Kirkwoll.
I remember when Kirkwoll was at its worst. Many of the city's elves converted to the Qun, trying to find a better life.
And the Qunari turned them into spies.
The Inquisition stopped Corypheus and saved the world. We can't let an outside threat change who we are.
I fought to protect the Inquisition in this exalted council. And for what? So we could deceive and threaten those we claimed to protect?
Once we locate the spies...
This isn't about the spies. You hid the Qunari body. You've all but seized control of the Winter Palace.
We did what was right, not what was politically convenient.
Do you know what this has cost us with Orlais and Ferelden? They are planning to dismantle us as we speak. And perhaps they are right.
So, it's been getting worse. I don't know why. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how much time I've got left. What I do know is that the Qunari need to be stopped. So I need to get to the Davarad while I can still fight.
Thank you, Inquisitor.
Would you like us to inform the Exalted Council of the danger?
Yes. If we fail, the Exalted Council needs to know what happened.
I will inform them personally.
Leliana, I can...
No, your job is hard enough already. This is my responsibility.
I'll have guards ready at the Alluvion, in case the Qunari attack the palace.
Make her watch over you.